Alrighty, cool. I guess I don't really need these. Well, it's a beautiful day, but I got some cello and piano in the background. This is Chopin, actually. I really, really like this rendition. When I get a cello, it's going to be one that I'm going to be excited to learn. But I'm going to talk about some heavy stuff. I didn't anticipate needing to get this out, but might as well. Nothing else works. And so, don't know how much background I really want to give before diving in. I'm just gonna, it just needs to come out. Stuff that I've never told anybody, not even a therapist. So, I'm gonna start differently though. Because when we talk about stuff like this, it's never done intelligently. And so I want to break that cycle. I want to do it carefully. So just starting off with a couple of questions. What legitimate reasons exist for denying somebody? Suppose somebody comes to you and they're like, hey, I have this thing and I just need you to, like, connect a couple of dots for me, help me out. The only thing that I could think of, and I did spend, not a ton of time, but I gave it a couple of good solid minutes of, like, what would be the circumstances I would just, like, outrightly just, nah, dude, nope, go to hell, kind of thing. And really, it's just causing harm. Or if it's just, like, false advertisement or BS, right? That's about it. That's about it. Like, as long as the person is, like, sincere and stuff like that, I'm willing to help out. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. So if it doesn't cause harm, just be willing to listen and be willing to try. Right? So if somebody had a solution that could bring, greater love and beauty to somebody or life in general, why would that person be rejected or dismissed or denied? Do you actually understand what they are doing, what they have? How much time did you actually put into it? How many questions did you ask? Did you confirm any understanding? How well do you understand what they are doing, what they have, and who they are? Did you repeat back anything that they said? Do you have any resources that can connect the dots for them? Like, how hard is it legitimately for you to actually figure this stuff out? How much time would it actually take? Because you are alive either way, you might as well try. Especially if it is something that is really beneficial, if you think about it for 10 seconds, right? So, do you understand also how you would personally benefit and how much? So, I bring up all of that because since moving back to Utah from Seattle in 2019 to help my parents who were aging, and I always said falling apart on schedule, and that's true, it helps me keep perspective because it's hard to watch people you loved age and fall apart and not be the person that you knew, which is a topic for another time. And yes, I used the past tense on purpose, but I bring up all of those questions because since moving back, I have written from scratch. Not that I can share it anymore because I can't afford my DistroKid. And I don't have those. I don't have access to those files anymore because it's. Yeah. I understand that Apple likes to keep things private and stuff, but it's literally the same computer and the same human being. I need to be able to access my stuff. I don't know what the hell happened. So, anyways, it's gone now. Cool. So, anyways, I would be playing my own stuff, but piano and cello works. Great mix. But I bring it up because I've written from scratch, not counting any music that I did before then, at least 2 albums and an EP. I think I pulled the EP. It was an acoustic, but oh no, more than that, because that was just Resonant Ghost. Because I had the EP Nexus and Impasse, and then for my other project, I just had one that I put out. I pulled the other one, so we'll just say 2.5 albums by myself, start to finish. All instrumentation, all everything, all the lyrics, all the vocals, all everything, every single aspect by myself. Just Trent Reznor-ing it. Tons of solo artists do it. It's nothing special, but like, the quality of the content is different. You can read about that in my lyric book too, if you would like. It is on Amazon. Currently under the wrong name, apparently, as I found out, but it's just whatever. So I did all that, and simultaneously I was also working on myself a lot, and meaning emotionally, making sure that I am reliable and trustworthy, and working on my communication so I could speak clearly and form coherent thoughts and make sure that what I need represented through words gets represented through the right ones. So I can convey the message succinctly, concisely, accurately, all the good stuff, so I don't waste anybody's time, right? Well, there was a time I put together playthrough videos that are probably still online. Oh yeah, they are. Oh, good. I can still hear my own music. Wow, what a treat. Yeah, I shared it any way that I could. I mentioned DistroKid, so it was on Spotify and everywhere. Volunteered at a hospital so I can, uplift people going through physical rehab after surgery. That was the ward that I played in. Super cool. That was before everything like shut down and everything. So I actually didn't have very much like original content. I only had like 3 or 4 songs at the time, I think. So it wasn't much, but I would show up every Tuesday or whatever it was, and just play in a common area and visit rooms if they wanted, and just to make sure it's like, hey, I've got my guitar and want to hear a song or whatever. Some did, some didn't. It was fine. It was just a cool experience, just something to do that could help somebody else, and just provide comfort or uplift or get their mind on something else for a second, right? Make them feel something different, something a little better than they would in just silence or without good company, right? So working on all of that and everything. So alongside my degree in psychology and going to therapy and all of that, I mean, I did my due diligence 100%. Had parents and others who used the word love. I love you. So with the talent, with the impetus, with the effort, with the due diligence to be healthy, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, went back to church, which was okay. I did it sincerely. Did it to the best of my ability. Went to the temple every week. As it was the Mormon church. I refuse to call it the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints because I love him, and I find an absence of actual disciples in that in my area, anyway, in my experience, kind of why I did the short that I did, and I can go into more detail. But yeah, it's yeah, false advertisement. So with all of that effort and a parent support system, why would such a person be suicidal almost daily, sometimes minute to minute, just wanting to divorce from life itself? And I can't speak for anybody else, and I did not have any intention of doing this kind of video ever. But I don't know. You know, I've tried literally everything and nothing fucking works. So I might as well anyway. The short answer is lack of reliability. Um, Lack of respect. Lack of communication. Lack of effort by others. If one person in a group or couple or circumstance or situation is putting in maximum effort and no one else is putting in any effort toward the same thing, there's no way for success. You know, the cliche is teamwork makes the dream work. And so if a person is kept in isolation with zero prospect of ever exiting, you get tragedy. If it was not for a legitimate miracle the day after Christmas, I was going to commit. I planned to. No one seems to take that seriously. That doesn't seem to be a big deal to anybody. I don't anymore. I will have you know. When I say miracle, it absolutely 100% legitimate miracle. That was the scariest thing in the world. December was very scary because that was when I decided, you know what, I'm done with the fight. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to... I'm just not. The next time that it happens, that it comes up, that impetus, that thought, that darkness, I'm just going to succumb. But I got a miracle instead. You know, I got a switch in my heart that I did not do. I was not even receptive to it. That's why I know it's a miracle. Okay, so the same behaviors continue, though. The same rejection continues. The same dismissal, the same denial. Now, in January, that's when I really started to be vulnerable about my heart and love. Knowing full well that if people were willing, and that's all it is, just willingness to understand and listen and try. If even one person was willing to listen and understand and make sure they understand and try and put in literally any effort, it's so minuscule. Literally text messages. You send them every day. That it could be done in like less than 5 minutes. What I'm actually asking and going for. Which, by the way, is now inevitable because I'm going to meet her in, well, 2 months and 2 weeks exactly. Right? I've been outrightly dismissed by literally everyone. Every single human being. Outright denial. And that is, that's unlivable. That's unsurvivable, and literally anyone else, and even me, if it weren't for a legitimate miracle, would have self-exited. That's what happens. Okay. Zero questions asked, zero understanding, zero effort, zero willingness to even try to understand. Okay. I don't want to commit anymore. Those thoughts do not cross my mind. The worse that it gets now, I've been without my medication for quite a while, which isn't great. You know, obviously it helps a lot, but I am okay. Because it's super easy to love life, and that's all I want to do. That's all I do. do. This is decaf, by the way. It's 11:30, 11:42. It's 11:42 at night. So it's decaf, but like yesterday, I decided to be vulnerable again, which was a mistake around certain people. All of them in my life, as it were. I'm not allowed to be vulnerable and respected at the same time. I'm not allowed to be vulnerable and safe at the same time. About anything that's actually important in life. Whether that is my love for a woman, whether that's my love for music, for life in general, needs, emotions, anything. Zero questions, zero effort to understand. So, I mean, like, right out of the gate, like, it's doomed. I've asked, I don't know how many people for just like, hey, would you help me, like, connect the dots? Because it's super easy. It's literally sending text messages, and I know for a fact someone in my neighborhood knows exactly how to get a hold of her. How do I know that? Intuition, I guess. And also, like, numbers game. Like, somebody knows somebody who knows somebody, and it could be done in, like, literally less than 5 minutes, and it would change both of our lives permanently for the better. Also, what community would not benefit from two multimillionaires? Because I'm sitting on a gold mine and nobody gives a shit. Like, so, no one seeks to understand or try. And that's the reason for self-exit is no one gives a shit. When it comes to anything that is actually important, no one shows up. Zero effort, and that's doomed. Like I was starting to say yesterday, like, the worst that it gets now is me just saying out loud, I wish I died. Which in the moment is true, but is not. You know, I wake up the next day, or even later, like, I was laughing later that night. I could not believe it. I have miracles. I have, like, stacks of miracles. I have no fucking clue why nobody is curious about me. No idea. Zero questions, zero people, zero effort. None. Absolute zero. So it's not me. I don't know. I don't know what is going on in everybody, but it's not okay. It's dehumanizing, and I deserve better. Frankly, everybody does. You know, but that is the reason. It's communication. No one's willing to communicate effectively or lovingly or compassionately or with empathy or with kindness even. And it's deeply confusing because all I want to do is make everybody's dreams come true, and I know that I can if given an actual chance. I know I can. That's all I do. I see possibilities that no one else does, and I get them. I do them. I make them on a daily basis. I wake up and I fall in love, either with something I already am in love with, or something new, or I rekindle it. This week alone, I decided to fall back in love with some childhood loves, baseball and basketball. And then I tagged on hockey too, just cause. It's like, yeah, all right, whatever. I've been to a couple of games. They're fun. Just get a couple of beers and have a good time. I don't need to know the rules. It's just like, ah, cool, puck, yeah, ice, wee. I don't know. I do care. Like, I looked up some, but it's fine. But like, I love life. And I love loud and I love hard. My love is beautiful. It's extraordinary. It's unlike anyone else's. There's zero willing recipient of it. Not former family. Whether that's birth or otherwise, no former friends. So, I mean, the question is like, why? I don't give a shit. I don't need an answer. I need cooperation. I need somebody to actually like show up and give a shit. I don't care who. I literally don't care who. It would make zero difference to me who it is, but it would make the absolute biggest difference if anybody did. So, there's that. Circumstance does not define me. Which is good. I still deserve better. I deserve a chance. It is still recording. Okay, good. I guess I hit low power, so I had to wrap this up here soon. Like I said, I did not anticipate talking about any of this, but overcoming suicide is not a solo project. Life is not a solo project. So why the hell am I still stuck in isolation? Why is this the only thing that I get to experience when I deserve and am capable of and created and work for and actually have so much better? How you treat the giver is whether you get the gift or not. And with all this gift, it's really not okay that it's not shared. I've done everything. Like, there's nothing more I can do. The only thing I have left is silence. But yeah, I just need a chance. The phrase that that is actually really accurate is, I am a living abortion. I'm living the experience of somebody in the womb who is not wanted, who is viewed as a defect or a burden or a problem or a cause for concern or everything that I am actually not. And I don't really know where to go with this. Like I said, I didn't really plan for this, but I guess I do need to talk about it. So, I mean, if you're sticking around at 24 minutes in, then thanks. That's more focus from somebody than I've gotten in 6 years, who isn't getting paid to listen and dismiss me too. So what I've resorted to now is just kind of what I was writing to her about. So this is my diary. This is my new one. I finished the green one. It's unbelievable. It's so long. This is just one day. That's how much I had to get out today. That's how much hurt is caused by just blatant disrespect, routine disrespect, and that's all it is. You know, it's very common. And that's why we have a suicide rate. It's just common disrespect. You know, nobody cares to even like look or ask a question or seek understanding or confirm understanding, or outright dismissal, denial. That's unlivable. So what I resort to now, and what I was writing about earlier, is that like, if I don't have a human heart to share my love with and connect with, I at least have a legacy. I at least have music that I can work on. I at least have some place that I can put my love that doesn't hurt. People hurt. Words hurt. It causes immense pain. Even still. I am not invincible. I am not God. I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm not capable of, this is an unlivable situation. This is an unlivable circumstance, and nobody gives a shit of understanding or even like acknowledging the damage that they actually cause. I don't remember the last time somebody actually apologized to me sincerely. I don't remember the last time somebody did anything sincerely for me. And I love to give. I show up to, help people move without being asked. If there's something that can be done, I'm there to do it. I don't go to church anymore. But I would still, I don't anymore. I've completely cut ties with everybody because of the pain they cause and contribute to. And nobody gives a shit to do anything different. Nobody has made amends. Nobody has actually tried to be a decent human being to me in 6 years. But what I was getting at is, in the neighborhood, I understand that there are some people hurting, and I've offered services to them. I can't like reach in and fix them, but I have music. I can give you like half an hour of like, take your mind off of horrible stuff and like think and feel something different. That's not nothing. No takers. I've offered, I don't know to how many, but they don't want it. So I'm universally unwanted. I am universally denied. I am universally rejected. I went to Seattle to, chase dreams that I realistically, legitimately, like, it was there. And I failed. And so I ended up sleeping on the street and then shaking at 3 a.m. because it was freezing and I didn't have a blanket. I ended up back here because, I didn't have the wherewithal to realize, oh, you know what, instead of, them paying for a plane ticket and all this stupid shit, we could just like $50 a night for another an extension at the Airbnb that I was in, so I can like, regroup and try again. But no, that didn't cross my mind because malnutrition, lack of rest and everything, like I was toast. You can see that on my Instagram on Shine Without Armor. I'm standing outside of Benaroya Hall just like talking. I'm gone. That's one night on the street. So obviously that's unlivable. That's not sustainable. So I'm grateful that I was able to come back, but like there were better solutions for the cause that I was going for, right? Which is bigger life and bigger love, and like actually connecting the dots in order to have the chance at the life that I create and work for and deserve. But that didn't happen, so I'm back here, which is great. I love this room. This is the room that I got converted in. This is the room where I got my calling and accepted it. And it's where I am like most loved. But I need people. I'm a human being. I need people. We are social creatures. We have to rely on each other. And so when I am only experiencing completely unreliable from everybody, that it doesn't work. So, yeah, my phone's about to die. This is already at half an hour. I'm just going to go ahead and call this part 1. I will do more. This is not complete, but I need to call it a night. So thank you for listening, and I don't need help. I need people to, like, show up in my life and actually be there. If you're going to claim, like, you love him, prove it then. Show up. How you treat somebody when they have a need is how you treat him. That is what he said in the New Testament. That applies to you. Rules apply to you. So why the fuck do you hate him enough to hate me? It's the same thing. He said so. So I will do a part 2, but there's some food for thought. I need somebody to be willing to listen and to be willing to try. Everybody benefits.